All right. So hopefully everybody has registered that is in Vitality at this point. You can download the app and register. You can register on the desktop. The very first thing that's going to pop up when you register is the health review. So if you haven't completed that yet, you'll want to, because that is part of the requirements to get the wellness credits. So that takes 10 to 15 minutes to complete and kind of leads you through the whole year of programming. So based on how you answer those questions, Vitality will give you what they call a Vitality age comparable to your age. And then we'll kind of give you tips along the way based on how you answered those questions. Again, I hope everybody has already registered, but if you haven't, you can go to powerofvitality.com. About a year ago, they launched a new, I guess, step in terms of how to register with the multi-factor authentication. We've rolled it out here with Tavistock internally. So basically all that means is you'll have to put it in an email now to be able to log in. So you'll put it in your email, it will send you a PIN. You'll have to enter that PIN in order to gain access to the website. This kind of shows you from the iPhone's perspective what you would see. You could choose to put in your mobile phone if you want as well, so that if you ever forget your password, you can reset it through a text message or through an email. I know sometimes things get caught up in Mimecast, so if that happens, just know that it will come through, but it may take a little bit of time. All right, so this is kind of the health review where everybody would start out when they first launched the program. I'm not going to go too far in depth because we've already talked about it, but if you haven't taken it, just know that this is one of your requirements to do the to get the monthly wellness credit. It doesn't take too long. Like I said, you could do it on your phone. It's really quite easy and is also a lot of points, which we'll talk about the importance of points this year as we go through the program. So employer incentives. Obviously, the biggest one is the credit. You'll get $60 a month as an employee or $100 a month as an employee with a covered spouse on the plan by doing a biometric screening, completing the health assessment, and being tobacco-free or completing the 8-week living smoke-free alternative. Covered spouses and domestic partners will have all the same requirements, and they will also have their own login information. So they will not log in under your login. They will have their own credentials, their own account. However, your accounts will be linked, which we'll talk about the significance of that in a little bit in terms of how that kind of translates into points if you have a spouse on the plan. So where can you find the requirements and how do you know if you've done them? So the Act Now button is updated with every program year that we run, and that is accessible via the website, which will look like this, or on the app, which will look like this. To navigate it on the app, you'll want to click on Rewards. You'll see Active Rewards, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then you'll see Employer Incentive Plan. If you click on that, that will launch icons with the requirements. So the biometrics, the health assessment, and the tobacco. As those turn green, that is when you know that those have been completed. If they are red, they have not been completed. So that is kind of a trick that I tell people. When everything is done and you know that you've done everything, this little Act Now button will actually turn green on your home page and it will say achieved. So that's when you know you're in the clear. All right, so points. Points is going to hold more significance as we go through this program year. So essentially we are changing the strategy a bit this year. So the more points that you accumulate, the higher your status level in Vitality and the more wellness credits you could possibly earn June of 2024. So right now, everyone's getting the $60 or the $100 for an employee and spouse if the requirements are completed on a monthly basis. However, we are encouraging everyone to try to get as high of a status level in vitality as they can by the end of this program year in May of 2024, so that you can possibly earn more next year. Because when it comes down to it, the folks that are getting to platinum or even gold are putting in the work, they're adding their activities, they're doing their preventative visits, they're linking a device and being physically active. So those we want to recognize with more credits. So that is kind of the basis of this whole presentation today, to help you figure out how many points you need, how to submit those in Vitality, and to get the most out of the program and the wellness credits. So this is the breakdown of how many points you will need to level up in the program. Of course, if you're an employee and spouse, your point levels or thresholds are a little bit higher than if you are just an employee only, for obvious reasons. You kind of have the double the amount of point earning opportunities. So they are a little bit higher. So silver status, I will say most of us who are meeting the requirements to get the credits this year, in terms of doing the 3 things we've talked about, are already kind of meeting this silver status level. So that is kind of the the lowest threshold that we want employees to get to in order to get credits next year. Gold and platinum, we are hoping to add more credits next year. And so those obviously cannot be accomplished solely by doing biometrics or solely by doing the health assessment. They require a little bit more throughout the program year. All right, so the big question, what can you do to get points and how do you submit those on Vitality? So this is kind of a big screenshot of what this would look like on your desktop. So when you click on the points planner from the menu bar, you'll see all of these, what we call activity tiles. And these are basically all of the opportunities that you have throughout the year. There's no real limit or deadline to completing these, but the earlier you start, the more you can maximize some of these categories. For example, physical activity, you can get up to 6,235 points, but that's only if you start at the beginning of the program year. If you don't start logging your physical activity till January, then you kind of have missed out on point opportunities earlier that year, if that makes sense. So this is where you'll go to kind of navigate through. And then this is sort of the app's version. So if you go on the app and you click on this little button down here that says activities, this will show you pretty much the same thing. It may look a little bit different. It'll be kind of in a way that you'll have to scroll through. So these are all kind of individual screenshots here. But again, you'll see the category, the amount of points, and you'll just click inside the activity that you want to submit for, and it will open up the submission screen where you can add your photo. Again, this is kind of the highlight or high overview of what it looks like and how to get to the points planner, which is what we were looking at. So this is kind of going to be your best friend aside from the Act Now button throughout the year. So you'll know where to go to submit your points. Everything can pretty much be submitted through here. If you can't find what you're looking for there, you can always go to the little drop down where your name is and hit forms and waivers. And that's where you'll find a couple of other things like CPR certification, biometric physician waivers, different waivers there as well. So kind of like a dual way to find different activities. All right, so the fun stuff. There are 2 reward programs built into Vitality. One being Vitality Squares, which is on a monthly basis, and the second being Active Rewards, which is on a weekly basis, and we'll talk about that one in just a minute. But Vitality Squares is essentially based off of your status level. So the idea is the more the higher your status level, the more little squares that you can flip over each month. The more squares you flip over that turn into fruits will give you more points. If you get 6 or more fruits, you have the opportunity to earn money in the form of gift cards. So kind of just like a little incentive each month to try to get to the higher status levels, because as you can see at bronze status, you can only flip over 2 squares, so the maximum amount of points every month that you could potentially earn is only 20 points. And the higher you get, obviously, the more opportunities you have to earn points. So it's basically just a game of chance. If you turn over a fruit, you get points for that. Again, you can only play this once a month. And this is active rewards, which is the second reward that we had mentioned. So this one is point-based only. So you can only, or I'm sorry, app-based only. So you can only access this if you allow the program to, I guess, take your data from going to the gym, your steps, however you want to link your device in order to meet your goal. So basically how it works is you'll download the app, you'll go to the rewards icon at the bottom, and you'll have to activate it. If you don't activate it, then you're not automatically going to be enrolled. It's something that you have to go in and opt into, if that makes sense. And then every week you'll get a goal. So for example, this screenshot here shows that the goal for this particular person is 65 points in 1 week, which is really high, actually. But everyone usually starts out like right around 20 points. And if you're familiar with Vitality, a standard workout is worth 10 points. So essentially, if you work out twice a week, 10 points each day, you'll reach that 20-point threshold and be able to spin the wheel. The trick with this program is the more active that you get, the higher the point threshold becomes. So it's not always going to stay at 20 points. Like this example here, it might end up at 65 or 70, depending on how often you're meeting those goals. So basically, when you spin the wheel, you'll have the opportunity to earn points or gift cards. So when you spin the wheel, you don't ever really lose anything necessarily. It's just, are you going to win points or are you going to win a gift card? So I know I've talked a lot about points, different activities up till this point. So I'm going to stop here and see if Michelle from Vitality has anything to add or tips or tricks on how to be successful with this program.
For active rewards, yeah, well, first of all, good morning to everyone. So the active rewards program is basically a physical activity additional bonus. So most of you are probably already wearing your fitness devices and getting all of your points, but this is a great way to get that added bonus. And it's also a great way to give you a little bit of a nudge too. So those weekly targets, as Rachel mentioned, are there to keep you incentivized to get to your target at the end of each month. But as she mentioned, it is something that you do have to activate before you get started. And then Rachel, I think we can go ahead and advance to the next slide while we're talking about physical activity and go ahead and go right into that. So we all know the benefits of physical activity. It's good for us. Vitality offers several ways for you to earn your Vitality points. A big one is, again, physical activity. So if you're already a Vitality Pro, you're using the program, you're earning your physical activity points. That's fantastic. We're going to go into a little bit of detail about some that might need to understand a little bit more about this category. So first, I want to highlight the different wearable devices. So if you are wearing one of the devices that you see on your screen, it's really simple. You just go into either your app or the website, and you're going to activate and link your fitness device. So that's an important step. So for you to start earning your points automatically, you do have to get your device synced. Another important little pro tip, you need to log into your Vitality mobile app frequently for your data to sync. So if you synced your watch maybe 3 months ago and you haven't logged into your Vitality app and you're noticing that you're not seeing any physical activity points, log into your app. That is a way for the data to transport from your wearable device directly to your Vitality account. So that is definitely a pro tip. That's a common question that we do see coming into Vitality. And if you're not a device wearer, that's okay. There are other ways to earn your physical activity points. So the first one that we'll talk about is going to be, there are some free apps. So maybe you have your Apple Health or your Google Fit already on your phone. If you have your phone in your pocket and you're walking around all day, you'll notice that your health app is tracking your activity. It's going to track your steps. Now, it's not going to get into as much detail as a wearable device. You're probably, if you're wearing a device, you're noticing it's measuring your active calories, but it is going to give you points for those steps. So it will be tracking it again, as long as you have your phone on you at the time. You can also submit gym workouts to Vitality. So again, you're not a wearable device person. You don't have your phone on you all of the time. You can also send gym screenshots of your activity. So maybe you're a Peloton user and you're not wearing a wearable device. Take a screenshot of that Peloton workout. Go into your activities button on your mobile app and you can upload that as a gym workout. You'll be awarded the 10 points for a standard workout for that Peloton program that you're using. You can also do the self-reported workout under the workout link. The workout tab in the mobile app. So I do encourage you to go in there just to see what's available under physical activity. And this is the big one. So Vitality uses GPS. You can do a gym check-in. I know many folks on this call visit the Link Nona Performance Club. Great news, if by doing a gym check-in, spending at least 30 minutes at your gym, again, you're going to be awarded that 10 points for a standard workout. So even if you're at a different gym, maybe it's not Lake Nona, there is an icon on your mobile app that you press. It says gym, and it will locate your gym, and we can get you logging that standard workout. Yeah, so I know that there are always a lot of questions about physical activity, but I do encourage you to visit the mobile app and click on physical activity. And again, it will list out a lot of ways that you can earn points for that.
Awesome. Thanks so much for elaborating on that, Michelle. I know we have device wearers and people who don't like devices, so there's always something for everyone. But a physical activity, if you rather get your points through other ways, we always encourage you to submit your preventative activities. Nobody sees this but Vitality unless you choose to email it to me and you want me to upload it for you. So that is something I just wanted to make a note about. Pap smears, mammograms, dental cleanings, colorectal exams, flu shots. There's more on this page, eye exams, chiropractor visits. I'll let you kind of read through the rest, but the opportunities are really endless to earn activities, to earn points for your activities. They just require a little bit of effort on your part to get some sort of document proof or photo proof and submit it. So if you always have trouble, or if you have trouble at any point, you can always email myself or Vitality, and we can submit those for you. But just know that this is at your fingertips on your app or your desktop that you can always submit on your own. So for any of these, you'll get points for. Vitality Check, which is biometrics, is over 4,000 points between actually just doing the biometric screening and then being in range. As you know, we measure 4 main measures during biometrics, and those are all points if you're in range. And same with being tobacco free, which is what this cotinine means down here. If for some reason you are not in range and therefore you did not get the in range points, there are alternatives. So the alternatives for cholesterol, blood pressure, and glucose are submitting those workouts that we were just talking about. And that will give you the same amount of points back as if you were in range. And then with BMI, you can either submit a physician waiver, or you can show proof of a 5% weight loss, and that will give you your points back as well. So if you didn't get these in range points during biometrics last month, just know that the points, you can still get them back. All right. So the main three things that you need to get points, it's a photo or a document. So if you go to the dentist, just ask them for some sort of verification that you got a cleaning or whatever it was that you got done that day that has a date on it. Take a picture of it with your phone, put the date into Vitality, upload it on using your phone or your computer. So it really is super simple. Certain documents will require a physician signature, but not all. So if you did the financial wellness webinar or you attended a 5K, those things don't need a physician signature. It's only biometrics, things like that will need some sort of proof that you were actually seen by a physician. As I think most of you know, if you did decide to come on site for biometrics, all of that data was added automatically for you. It's really only if you are doing biometrics at your own doctor that you would have to go and upload that on your own. Anything to add here, Michelle?
No, I think you covered it all, Rachel. Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're almost through here, so stick with me. So certain program features that we like to highlight, just if you're looking for other ways to get points, I particularly really like the goals setting option. You can pick one goal, you can pick 20 goals. If you log in and you check into that goal once a week, you'll get 30 points. And it doesn't matter if you've been on track with your goal or maybe you need to work on it, you'll still get the 30 points. So that is something that I like. It kind of keeps me accountable to my goal, and it also kind of gives me a little bit of a point boost each week. The second one that's popular is called our Healthy Mind through Vitality. There is a sleep well, and then there's a meditation option. I will say both of these are mainly app-based programs. So you have to be able to have the app to do these programs and get the points. Michelle, do you want to touch on maybe a little bit about how these work and how you would go about getting points?
Yeah, so as Rachel mentioned, these are only app-based, the meditation and the sleep well. So again, we're just providing you as the user additional opportunities to earn points. And we want to make it as a big variety of things. So what we're trying to do is to encourage you to find things that are meaningful for you. So if you're wanting to work on building better sleep habits, the Sleep Well program, again, is built into the app and the meditation too. So the Sleep Well program, you can earn up to 300 points in your program year. And the meditation can give you an additional 200 point bump each year. Just for the sake of time, I won't go into great detail about these, but if these are two things that are meaningful for you that you're wanting to work on, I would encourage you to check those out on the mobile app to get more information on how to participate in those.
Awesome. And then lastly is online education. So I feel like this kind of gets overlooked by me too sometimes, because there's just so many things that you can do in Vitality, and everything is linked to points. So if you're like, you've done all of your prevention and you're already linking your device and you're like, what else can I do to try to get to platinum? This is a great way to do that through the Health FYI webinars, the action sets, interactive tools. There's so many options. So just wanted to point that out. And there's more health reviews. So Vitality Health Review is the one that we reward for wellness credits because it's kind of an overall holistic look, but there's a physical activity specific review and also a mental health review, which are also worth points. Lastly, a little sneak peek, we are doing a team workout challenge coming in Vitality this July, a little sensational summer workout challenge. You'll be able to create your own team or join a team of between 4 and 10 people. You can earn up to 500 bonus points and other cash prizes. Registration is going to open for that. We're targeting Monday, June 19th, but at some point next week, registration will open for a start of July 1st. So if you want to start, feeling around, trying to recruit your team, just a little teaser that this is going to be coming out soon. So take a look at your newsletters and your employee break rooms and kitchens. Well, this will be posted. I'm going to go ahead and just jump to the very end. But if you need any help or you're just frustrated because you can't get something to work in your favor on the app, don't hesitate to take a screenshot of this phone number and the email. This will go directly to Vitality and not to me. So sometimes if you want a quicker response, I typically will have to take the question and go back to Vitality 8 times out of 10 anyway. So if you want to go ahead and jot this down, this is a great way to get immediate help if I am not readily available. So always good to have that as a secondary option. All right. And for all my people who have hung on with me through the past 30 minutes, as I promised, I'm going to try to do a demo via my phone to show you my app, how to look into actually submitting activities. So give me 1 second while I launch this. In the meantime, if anybody has questions in the chat, feel free to ask those now. Right. Trying to figure this out here. Oops. Here we go. All right. So hopefully everyone, looks like it's a little slow there. There we go. All right, so this is the app. I am an iPhone user. So if you have a Samsung device, if you have Android, it might just know that it might look a little bit different for you. But in general, I'll go ahead and just walk through just the steps that we already talked about. So this is the homepage. This will show you your news feed. This updates, daily, if not weekly, with just different information. This little drop down will show you kind of where you are, how many more points you need to reach the next level. If you were eligible for the incentive plan, i.e. those wellness credits, and then your weekly target for those active rewards. The gym's icon, that will take you to the gym check-in feature. And that is where you can find gyms that are close to you and check in. Obviously, I'm not close enough to check into any of the gyms right now, so nothing is going to pop up for me. But that is where you would go to check into a gym to get your points. Activity tracker. This is where you'll see the devices that you have paired. So don't judge my step count for today, but this will show you your steps, how many active calories you have. And then if you click on the apps and devices tab, that will show you what all is connected. So I have a Fitbit connected and I'm also connected to my health app. I don't have my Fitbit on right now, but it's taking my steps through the health app. If you have a device and you want to check to see if it's paired, that's a great place to go to do it. Same with the meditation. This will show you how many points that you've earned, what apps that you have downloaded, same thing. I'm going to go back. Goals. This is one of my personal favorite parts of the program because it holds me accountable. So this is where you'll go to check into your goal. You can set a new goal, you can end a goal, whatever you want to do is available there. Now we're going to move to the bottom where you see a little star that says points. So when you go to the points tab at the bottom, this will show you all of the points that you have earned and when you earned them. So if you're like, man, I really thought I submitted that, but I don't see my points, this is where you'll go to find your points in the activities. Activities, this is kind of the same thing that we were showing in the PowerPoint. So this is all of the tiles that are available to you. If you want to submit for something, you'll click onto the tile. I'm just going to choose something random right now. Let's go to prevention. You'll click on the prevention tile. You'll select which one you want. It'll bring you to this screen. This little pop-up is just telling you that you need some sort of proof. You'll hit close. You'll hit submission for yourself. You'll put the date there, the type of activity, attach your photo verification or document, check the little box, and you're done. It's really, really easy. I will say occasionally if you have a brand new phone or if you're trying to upload like a professional picture, it might shoot it back to you because the image file is too big. If that happens to you, just let me know, or you can email that directly to wellness@powerofvitality.com and you can get your points, but just know that sometimes that'll happen if you're trying to upload a really large file. And lastly is the rewards tab here at the bottom. This will show you the active rewards and also the employer incentive plan. So as I was talking about before with the green check marks, this will show you the details in terms of what you have to do to get that credit. And it will show you if you've completed everything and you should be earning that credit. If you log into your app and you see any of these are red, feel free to complete those so that you can get your credit in time for the next paycheck. Similar with active rewards, I'm not going to go into too much detail because we're kind of running out of time. But if you click on that, that will obviously launch the active rewards program where you can participate and spin the wheel, et cetera, et cetera. If there's something on here that you can't find, check out the More tab. This will show you, this will launch the Vitality Health Review. You can look at your health results. You can change your email. You can change your name under account settings. Whatever you want to do is available through the More app. Sometimes if it's not available on the app, it will shoot you out to the Vitality homepage, but it wouldn't make you log in or anything because you're already on the app and logged in. So just a little tip there if you're not seeing everything that you need. For example, the health review, you'll have to click that little More tab to be able to see that. So that is all that I had for you today. If you have any questions or if there's something that we didn't cover that you want to learn more about, feel free to reach out. I'm always available and we'll try to get that answered for you. But hopefully this was helpful. I figured it would be, an extra benefit to show you from the phone's perspective on how to do these things through the app that we've been talking about for the last few years. But again, if you have questions, feel free to drop those in the chat at this time. I don't know if I see, Michelle, do you see anything? Oh, nope, just someone who had to drop out.
No, I don't see any. Yep, I think we're all good.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, this will be recorded. We'll make sure everybody receives it and have a fabulous day. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.